beaucoup apprécié. Additions, deletions, or amendments on a few changes this evening. We will add under section 18, item A, the Welcome to Russell sign discussion. Item B for Councillor Associate for the March It Out event. Item C for the Earth Hour under Councillor Associate. We will also add under items 11, reports and committee reports. Item P, Monsieur Bourdeau for a verbal report on the infrastructure grant. And under item Q, an amendment to the user fee bylaw for Madame Camille Piché, c'est ça? And I believe that's it. 11A, we're going to excuse Madame Camille Piché.
Mr. Mayor, were you removing item 11A?
No, we're going to leave it in.
Okay, and then there's a closed session to add.
Oh, wait, la closed session, item 3 for same disposition or acquisition of land in Russell. Need a mover and a seconder? Only two of you tonight, so I'm going to go real quick. Councillor Associé, Conseiller Brisson. All those in favor? All those opposed? Carried. Adoption de l'ordre du jour. Motion d'adopter l'ordre du jour tel que amendé. J'ai besoin. Conseiller Brisson, conseiller associé, tout le monde en faveur? Carried. Item 6, disclosure of pecuniary interest. I see none. Item 7, adoption of minutes. Regular council minutes of March 4, 2019. Special council minutes of March 7, 2019. Motion to approve the following minutes as presented. Mover and a seconder. Moved by Councillor Associé, seconded by Conseiller Brisson. All those in favor? All those opposed? Carried. Item 8, presentations, we have none. Item 9, delegations. Délégation présentée par Laurier, Lemieux et Nadine Bourdeau au nom de la paroisse St-Jacques d'Embrun. Alors, je vous invite à monter au train suppléant.
Alors, est-ce que vous m'entendez, oui?
Oui, le micro est allumé, mais une seconde, ils vont faire ça.
OK, alors, bonsoir tout le monde.
Bonsoir.
Messieurs le maire, les conseillers, chers contribuables, je me présente Laurier Lemieux, président de la paroisse Saint-Jacques d'Embrun, ainsi que citoyen du village. Juste avant, j'aurais peut-être une petite rubrique de vous demander si j'avais votre permission de faire une quête, parce qu'il y a beaucoup de monde ce soir.
Un don pour la municipalité, c'est ça?
Pour les chemins. Au cours des derniers mois, la municipalité a été éprouvée par le départ d'un grand homme de petite stature, mais non le moindre. Camille Piché fut pour moi une inspiration d'un bon citoyen dévoué pour la communauté. Suite à son décès, avec l'approbation de son épouse Lise et ses enfants, j'ai contacté Nadine Bourdeau pour notre demande de ce soir. J'espère que notre demande de ce soir vous sera bien reçue et je pense que la communauté le fait très bien en étant ici ce soir, n'est-ce pas? Sans plus tarder, j'aimerais céder la parole à Nadine qui a préparé un petit exposé du cheminement de Camille au cours de sa vie. Merci.
Merci.
Monsieur le maire, conseillère et conseillers, merci, comme Laurier a dit, de nous donner l'opportunité de vous présenter ce beau projet en l'honneur de notre amie Camille. Je vais simplement vous lire un texte qui résume très rapidement sa vie et son implication dans notre belle communauté. Époux de Lise Roy pendant plus de 56 ans, père adoré de Daniel, Maurice, Julie et Étienne, grand-père de 5 petits-enfants et une arrière-petite-fille. Camille commence à travailler chez Maheu dès l'âge de 14 ans en 1956 et il devient boucher à 18 ans. Il appartient des parts dans le magasin à partir de 1980. Après 30 ans chez Maheu, changement complet de carrière en 1986, quand il décide avec Lise d'acheter le centre de couture Thibault, avec aucune expérience dans le domaine. Ensemble, ils font grandir cette entreprise pendant plus de 16 ans. Ils décident de vendre en 2002 pour prendre une retraite bien méritée à l'âge de 60 ans. Le couple déménage sur la ferme, achetée quelques années auparavant, pour consacrer son temps à ces différentes races d'animaux, dont des chevreuils et ses chevaux adorés. Au niveau des sports, il a joué au ballon-ballet pour l'hôtel Valiquette et l'hôtel de Roger Fogg. Par contre, son implication a été énorme comme organisateur, entraîneur et gérant du hockey mineur. Il a organisé l'un des plus gros tournois du hockey mineur d'Embrun dans les années 1970, en plus de créer les catégories novices, ANTHEM et Pee-Wee, puisqu'il existait seulement le Bantam et le Midget dans ce temps-là. Il a été entraîneur de plusieurs équipes sur lesquelles jouaient deux de ses garçons, Daniel et Maurice, et finalement, il a été gérant et entraîneur des 72 Embrun durant plusieurs années. Maintenant, nous voici dans la partie de son implication extraordinaire pour son village et sa paroisse. Il a touché à peu près à tout. Membre du Club Optimiste et Richelieu pour quelques années, directeur de la Caisse populaire d'Embrun pour 3 termes, qui est 9 ans, président du Club Joie de vivre, membre du comité de la paroisse Saint-Jacques d'Embrun, vice-président du comité du 150e de la paroisse, ce qui a impliqué l'organisation de plusieurs activités durant l'année 2006. Il était chevalier de colon, 3e degré depuis mai 1962 et 4e degré à partir de 2004. Durant les nombreuses années de bénévolat du Centre récréatif, il a été un membre à partir du début des années 1960 et président pendant plusieurs années, organisant plusieurs carnavals, parades de la Saint-Jean-Baptiste, pour ne nommer que ceux-là. Ces dernières années, le comité qui lui tenait beaucoup à cœur était le comité du cimetière d'Embrun. Il en a été membre depuis 1989 et président depuis 2003, jusqu'à son décès le 3 décembre 2018. Je crois que tous peuvent témoigner que nous avons le plus beau cimetière de la région. Et il en était très fier. On pouvait dire que Camille était l'encanteur, l'animateur, le crieur officiel de la paroisse, et il était toujours prêt à aider dans l'organisation de plusieurs levées de fonds. Au niveau de la politique, il a toujours suivi ça de très près, s'impliquant pour supporter publiquement ses amis, par exemple Albert Bourdeau ou Jean-Marc Lalonde. Finalement, on peut dire que Camille était toujours prêt à aider et à s'impliquer à fond lorsqu'il était question de sa paroisse et ou de son village. Il est incapable de dire non à quelqu'un qui lui demandait son aide. Il ne comptait jamais son temps, car c'était très important pour lui de léguer aux générations futures des bâtiments, des organisations et des comités dans le meilleur état possible. Avec tout ce qu'il a fait, il mérite amplement cette reconnaissance que la salle du centre récréatif, qu'il a défendu avec ferveur ces dernières années et qu'il a aidé à rénover tout récemment, devienne maintenant le centre Camille Piché.
Merci beaucoup, Nadine. Merci beaucoup, Laurier. Je pense qu'il n'y a personne qui veut débattre le fait que Camille avait sa communauté au cœur. Ça, c'est 100%. N'importe qui a eu l'opportunité de y jaser ou de parler avec lui durant ces années, ça, c'était évident from day one. C'est pas la pratique normale qu'il y ait une délégation qui vienne au conseil et le conseil fait une décision on the spot. Ça, c'est pas la pratique. Par contre, normalement, on a une politique qui est en place pour quand on va nommer des bâtisses, ces choses-là. Normalement, ça demande que ça va au comité récréatif qu'on a avisé qu'on a. Mais dans ce cas ici, il m'a suggéré au conseil M. Brisson qui siège sur le comité. À part de M. Brisson sur le comité, je pense pas qu'il y a d'autres membres du comité qui n'ont jamais eu le plaisir de connaître Camille. Alors, je ne vois pas le bénéfice de l'envoyer au comité. Puis, en plus, final say, c'est le conseil qui a le mot final quand même. So, unless there's questions from members of council, moi, je vais faire la suggestion qu'on donne la direction à notre administration de ramener un rapport au conseil le deuxième meeting au mois de février, je crois, c'est avril, excuse. Je m'en vais en reculant, ça aurait été le fun si c'était le mois passé. Avril, avec la direction, un rapport qui nous donne les coûts pour qu'on puisse mettre le nom sur la bâtisse. Puis que ça peut être approuvé ou discuté à la table du conseil à ce point-là. Je ne sais pas s'il y a quelque chose d'autre les membres du conseil aimeraient ajouter à ce point-ci. M. Brisson?
Oui, connaissant Camille, c'est une décision que personnellement, c'est même pas à y penser, d'y penser de ne pas le mettre, parce que Camille, c'était connu de tout le monde, puis tout ça. Ça fait que c'est le moins qu'on peut faire pour le reconnaître. Fait que ça serait un plaisir que son nom soit là. On l'a fait pour M. Malbeuf pour le terrain de tennis. On l'a fait pour d'autres aussi, très grands hommes. Puis comme il disait, Camille n'était pas bien grand, mais il prenait la place.
Anything to add, Councillor Saucier? Monsieur le Duc, quelque chose à ajouter?
Ça, M. le maire du conseil. Donc, oui, on a une politique en place. Je comprends que les actions du conseil, c'est de ne pas poursuivre l'étape du comité. On va se plier à cette demande-là, c'est les actions du conseil. Puis, on va préparer un rapport en question pour parler des faits. Aussi, est-ce qu'il y a d'autres enjeux à considérer avant de faire la décision au conseil? Donc, on va apporter certaines suggestions, recommandations si c'est le cas. Puis, vous pourrez débattre à ce moment-là du sujet, puis prendre la décision qui va s'imposer à ce moment-là.
Parfait. Merci beaucoup, M. Leduc. Alors, la deuxième réunion au mois d'avril, le 15 avril, on va avoir une discussion à table du conseil. J'anticipe pas une grosse objection. Je serais beaucoup surpris, mais comme je dis, on va donner la chance à l'administration de faire leur job puis nous amener un rapport, puis ça va être confirmé au mois d'avril la semaine. Merci beaucoup, tout le monde. Vous êtes, si vous voulez rester pour le restant de la réunion, vous êtes bienvenus. Habituellement, ils sont 2 dans la salle, mais on va continuer notre réunion à ce point-ci. Merci beaucoup. Move on with consent items. Motion that all items listed under consent items be received as presented. Item A, procès verbal du comité consultatif des parcs des loisirs de la culture du 21 novembre 2018. Procès verbal du conseil d'administration de la bibliothèque publique du canton de Russell le 17 janvier 2019. Minutes of the United Counties of Prescott-Russell, January 23, 2019. And the Russell Historical Society minutes from February 11, 2019. We need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Conseiller Brisson, seconded by Councillor Saucier. C'est les consents. Tu veux leur dire rien? Oui. Quel t'aimerais? Conseiller Brisson.
Oui, j'aimerais retirer les minutes, le procès verbal des comptes unis.
So on va retirer item C, we'll take out. So I need a mover and a seconder to take out item C. Moved by Councillor Brisson, seconded by Councillor Saucier. All in favor of removing item C? We're good. And then we'll vote on A, B, and D. All those in favor? Carried. So now C is on the table. Questions for C?
Oui, c'est juste pour commencer, j'aimerais remercier que les minutes des Comtés unis aient été inclus. C'est nouveau, je pense, de ce meeting-ci. Je tiens à remercier. Juste clarification que je voulais avoir.
Tu veux juste laisser les floors couvertes.
Je voyais qu'il parlait de la station des ambulances.
Oui.
Que là, ça avait été dit que tu avais amené une motion comme quoi qu'on n'ait pas d'autres coûts si s'il perdait des grants ou quelque chose. C'est juste de clarification.
Ça avait été présenté au conseil ici, avant que ça soit présenté au Comté unis. Monsieur le Duc.
Le membre du conseil, ça a été discuté avec lui aussi.
Sorry,
No.
Mr. Chamberlain?
Mr.
Great. Sorry, you gotta leave the door open because it's a public meeting. I need the doors
We'll
open.
just ask the people to go out.
I need it to Allez-y, monsieur le Duc.
Comme dit M. le maire, cet système-là avait été discuté avec lui. Pas de détails, mais on avait quand même informé le conseil sur les conditions qu'on devait respecter, puis ça avait été réglé à ce moment-là.
Oui. Ça, c'était essentiellement à propos du... qu'est-ce qui était discuté à table des comtés?
C'est à propos du bail, certains articles du bail à régler. Ça avait été réglé à ce moment-là avec le conseil.
Oui.
Mais là, le truc que je voyais, c'était comme, OK, oui, on l'achetait de 1$, mais qu'on n'est pas sûr à combien que ça peut nous coûter, éventuellement.
Oui, ça faisait en effet avec, si jamais la province demandait de l'argent, mais après les discussions, c'était pas évident que ça ne serait pas le cas. Il serait obligé de demander, évaluer la bâtisse à 2 fois le prix de l'évaluation avant que nous autres, on soit chargé de quelque chose.
OK. je voulais juste faire ça, si c'était définitif le prix ou si on pouvait avoir une surprise que, oups, on se reçoit, qu'on investit un peu dedans, puis là, d'un coup, on reçoit un bill.
Ben, on avait mis des conditions dans le bail comme tel.
C'est bon.
Okay, all those in favor of C? Opposed? Carried. Reports from departments and council committees. Item A, zoning bylaw and official plan amendment, report PD 14-2019. The council receives report PD 14-2019 dated March 18, 2019, and concurs with the planning department and planning advisory committee recommendations to refuse the official plan amendment application submitted by Benoit Deforge and Carl Lagois, authorized agents for EMB Developments, Inc. to, one, amend the designation of the property from commercial to residential, and two, to the zoning amendment from local commercial special exempt in CL4 to residential 2R2. I'll ask Madame Camille Laflamme that we'll vote on this separately, so take it out of, and I'll just give my 2 cents on this. We sought Madame Tremblay with across the street. It used to be commercial. We allowed, the council made the decision to allow it to go residential. That's correct?
Yeah, you're correct.
Yeah. I don't see the point in, it's been commercial for, God, at least 20 years now. It's not gone anywhere. There's no business being built there. We have an opportunity to infill that corner. It's all residential aside, so I'll be making a suggestion that we change it to approve. Conseiller Brisson?
Oui, puis moi je voulais juste mentionner que si ce projet avait été à l'ouest, comme du coin Saint-Onge, de Sainte-Marie et Saint-Pierre, que ça soit plus considéré. Mais complètement dans ce coin-là, il n'y a aucun autre commerce. S'il n'y a pas d'attirance pour le monde pour aller faire du commerce là, fait que c'est pour ça que moi aussi, je supporterais que, comme on l'a fait avec l'autre côté de la rue, de l'accepter pour des duplex, que ça devienne sur du commercial.
Councillor Saucier?
Yeah, well, my concern is that we won't have any commercial space. And as we're developing more and more and more, we get more apartment buildings, but we have nowhere to build any, people want amenities and they want to have like a business, a restaurant, something to, stores, whatever. And if we have no commercial space left, that is my concern. And also, I'm kind of concerned with changing it when the planning committee also concurred with this. So I'd like to have more information on it.
Madame Tremblay?
Good evening. So through Mr. Mayor, I'll just go back to my answer to your question. So yes, initially, just for members' information, we didn't recommend the other corner. So the facing corner, it was still the planning department recommendation to not move ahead with the change. As well, we saw out of it, we kind of compromised on the zoning amendment because they built 2 6 units. Now we're seeing lower density with semi-detached and as well no commercial at all. So that was our first preoccupation. The second one, as mentioned by Madame Saucier, is that we need to look at long term, and there's different type of commercial. So I know that you can have a big store that would be at that corner, but you could have a corner store that would facilitate people that live in that corner to walk, and that's what our mandate is, to make sure that we offer different type of commercial that would be walkable, bikeable, and this is why it was identified initially. And I know I'm not going to convince you, but it's my job to bring council's attention that once we have commercial property, it's not that we're removing it and we are allowed to place it somewhere else. And at the same time, if you recall the conversation that we had with the county a couple years ago, which is last year, we are demanding the county to move and to increase the commercial sites, and now we're removing it without increasing it somewhere else. And this is something that the county could go back and say, you're removing those commercial properties and now you're asking us for more. So this is something that council needs to be aware of, and I think the report was pretty clear that we also had a market analysis study that was just completed a couple of weeks ago saying that we're lacking in commercial properties. We hear that in Russell, it happened, I was here in 2005 when we changed all the business park commercial to residential, and I see that we're doing the same thing here. So it's the planning advisory committee and the planning department not to move ahead and at least to look at what's permitted on the site. We're not preventing any residential. It's permitted right now that they could have commercial and residential, which would benefit and meet the provincial policy, which in this decision, we're not meeting the provincial policies.
Thank you. Councillor Saucier?
What about, like a combination, you know, where they have, commercial underneath, like they're doing in Russell, on that, lot beside the vet? So
Yeah.
it's gonna be commercial and apartments above?
So,
Like, is that an option?
yeah, through you, Mr. Mayor, again, the option were presented to the applicant. Right now, the commercial designation under the official plan would allow for a mixed-use density, so that's where it would be commercial, like you just mentioned, at the bottom, and then could have apartment on top. It was also presented as an option to the same builder 2 years ago when they did the same application, and council decided not to follow the planning department recommendation.
I think the reality is if the developer felt that it was in his best interest, that's what he would be doing. In regards to taking away commercial space, well, we're talking a very small lot compared to 40 acres, we just added a commercial space. Therefore, as somebody who was in the convenience store business for 20 years, I think, you know, we're going to see a lot more commercial growth here as opposed to one little corner where the mentality of the shopping has changed in recent times. So I'll be making a suggestion that we switch it. Madame Tremblay?
And just maybe to conclude on my thought on it, I'm not here to look at the developer's interest, I'm looking at the township's interest.
Right, and I think we're here in the same boat, and I'd rather have one bird in the hand than two in the bush. It could sit for another 20 years without having anything on it, or we can have development right now. So I'd rather see the development right now. Conseiller Brisson?
Mais quand que dire de perdre la chose commerciale, mais s'il est transféré qu'une des maisons sur le Notre-Dame devient un commerce, mais plus à ce bout-ci, il peut-tu être transféré? Parce que justement, c'est fait que ça peut être du commercial, je pense.
Oui, toute la main peut être essentiellement commerciale. Si on pouvait voir du résidentiel changer à commercial n'importe quand, sans main, c'est ça, Mme Tremblay?
Du résidentiel, c'est pas autorisé sur la rue commerciale.
C'est ça?
Du résidentiel, l'usage résidentiel n'est pas autorisé dans le village 3.
Non, mais comme l'existant,
Oui.
on pourrait voir une maison qui se fait transformer en business.
Oui, définitivement. Mais en ce moment, on parle d'une désignation. Donc, en ce moment, sur la rue principale, c'est déjà désigné, fait qu'on ne gagne pas à nulle part. Parce que c'est déjà une désignation qui est existante. Là, on en prend de la désignation, on l'enlève complètement, on ne la transfère pas à nulle part. Elle est perdue. C'est quelque chose qu'on perd.
Oui, je comprends. Merci. Yeah, it's been asked to pull it up. Item B, removal of part lock control report PD 16-2019. The council receives report PD 16-2019 dated March 18, 2019. Adopts a bylaw to approve the proposed application for the removal of part lock control submitted by CH Clément Construction Inc., care of André P. Baudet, for the parcel of land described as block 113 on plan 50M 332, being parts 1 to 6 on plan 50R 10824 and known as 301, 303, 305, and 307 Twilight Avenue in the village of Russell. Questions, comments, members of council? Anything to add from the administration? Pretty straightforward. Item C, removal of part lock control, report PD 17-2019. The council receives report PD 17-2019 dated March 18, 2019 and adopts a bylaw to approve the proposed application for the removal of part lock control submitted by Mathieu Canel, care of Benham Construction Inc., Benoit Desforges, and legally described as block 58 on plan 50M 334. Being parts 1, 2, 3, and 4 on plan 50R 10820 and known as 443 to 445 Mays Street in the village of Embrun. Question, comments, members of council? Pretty much the same. Madame Tremblay now. Item D, another removal of part lock control, report PD 18-2019. Council receives report PD 18-2019 dated March 18, 2019 and adopts a bylaw to approve the proposed application for the removal of part lock control submitted by Mathieu Canel, care of Benham Construction Inc., Benoit Desforges, and legally described as block 61 on plan 50M 334 being parts 1, 2, and 3 on plan 50R 10819 and known as 434, 436 Main Street in the village of Embrun. Questions, comments, members of council? Nothing from the administration. Item E, bylaw dedicating public highway, report PD 19-2019. That council receives report PD 19-2019 dated March 18, 2019, and adopts a proposed bylaw dedicating blocks 76, 234, 235, 242, and 243 on plan of subdivision 50M-317 as public highways, that the bylaw be registered on title. Questions, comments of members of council? Anything to add from the administration? No. Item F, minor deviation from official plan request, report PD 20-2019. The council receives report PD 20-2019 dated March 18, 2019, and approves the recommendation of the planning department to consider the proposed density variation from 12 to 14 units minor, and that the proposed density meets the intent of the policy of the official plan, therefore no official plan amendment will be required. Questions, comments, members of council? Councilor Associate.
Yeah, I was just wondering, like, going from 55 to 65 units, that's still considered minor?
Madame Tremblay?
So it's the 12 versus 14.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So right now, our official plan would allow for 14 under the number of hectare, the unit per hectare. But there's, as mentioned in the report, there's a section that allows the township to consider this as minor without going through an official plan amendment. And that's what we're seeking council's approval to consider the change from 12 to 14 units as a minor change. So
Okay.
the applicant would not have to proceed with the official plan amendment. They just need, they still need to proceed with the site plan process as well, so.
D'autres questions? Non? Quelque chose d'autre à ajouter, Madame Tremblay? No? Move on. Item G, pay list February 2019. Council receives a pay list for the month of February 2019. Questions, comments, members of council? Quelque chose à ajouter de l'administration? No? H, statements on remuneration expenses paid in 2018 to council, report FS 12-2019. That council receives report FS 12-2019, dated March 18, 2019, and acknowledge receipt of the itemized statement of remuneration expenses paid in the previous year to members of council and to each person other than member of council appointed that managed the municipality. Questions, comments, members of council? Anything to add from the administration? Pretty straightforward. Move on. Item I, the most construction charges for water and sewer systems, report FS 13-2019. The council receives a report FS 13-2019 dated March 18, 2019, and adopts two bylaws to authorize the modification of the charges for the water and sewer construction in the area of Lemieux. Question, comments, members of council? Councilor Associate.
Yeah, I was just wondering why there was such a huge increase, going from 5,612 for water to 6,112. So it's 500 increase for each water and sewer. And then the total is like it's $12,364 for each resident.
Monsieur Leduc, Monsieur Godin, this is it's the nation water system and sewer system, therefore it's their file. Monsieur Godin.
Oui, merci, Monsieur Maire. Councilor Associate. So, yeah, basically we are following, this is the nation side of the manage for the water and sewer network. So when they increase their fees, we have to amend our bylaws to match them because they're not authorized to invoice their water and sewer users that are in Russell. As for the reasoning for the increase, I can inquire with the nation to obtain more information as to why exactly there was that bump. I'm assuming it's a question of indexing and that their increase is large, just like ours were when we increased our GCs because of higher inflation. Yeah, so to answer your question regarding why the big increase, I could definitely obtain more information.
And is this on established residents or a new development or
so
on that side?
This would be for any property that's applying to get connected to the system. So it's for any it could be it kind of is similar to what we presented last week regarding our capital charge as well, which they call a common charge. So if you have a development, if there's new development that would get onto the system, they would have to pay that fee, and also if there's a private or an existing residence that's not private services that would convert to the municipal services, they would have to also pay at the connection.
And are the residents aware of this increase? Do we know?
Not to my knowledge. I mean, I'm assuming the nation is communicating their updated bylaws, but I can't speak.
Other questions, comments?
No, but I think I'd like to vote on that separately, if I could have that vote.
Just to clarify, this is the nation that's imposing these charges. We have no say whether they increase or not.
That's
Is
correct.
that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, well then I don't need to vote then.
Okay. Item J, amendment to user fee bylaw, Schedule A9, Report FS 14/2019. The council receives Report FS 14/2019 dated March 18, 2019, adopts the amending user fee bylaw. Question, comments, members of council? Conseiller Brisson?
Ça, si je comprends bien, c'était que c'était une surtaxe pour la piscine. La seule chose, je ne sais pas si c'est prématuré la charger, parce qu'on n'a pas eu les rapports comme c'est là de voir si on allait inclure la piscine dans le complexe ou pas, ou si on allait la chose.
Ben, comme c'est là, on n'a pas eu de rapport qui dit on inclut rien dans le complexe.
Ouais.
So, on était de l'avance avec les arénas. Je veux dire, c'est juste la même mentalité d'aller de l'avance avec la piscine. Que ça soit inclus dans le complexe ou non.
Ou que ça soit pas réparé après.
Le but, c'est
faire un fonds.
de créer un fonds spécifiquement pour cette raison-là. Okay. Okay. D'autres questions, commentaires? Quelque chose d'autre à ajouter de l'administration? Non? Item K, Water and Sanitary Sewer Annual Operations Compliance Report for the year ending 2018. The council acknowledges receipt of the Water and Sanitary Sewer Operations Compliance Report. Question, comments, members of council? Councillor Saucier.
Yeah, so I guess this is directed to Mr. Bourdeau. I wasn't sure, like the sodium, is that naturally occurring on page 3 of the report? And I also, on page 4, I didn't know what IC-AWLEDGE was, AWLEDGE. Sorry, for my ignorance, but I haven't got a clue what it is.
Monsieur Leduc, Monsieur Bourdeau.
Well, to answer the question about sodium, the water from Ottawa comes in at a certain amount of sodium, so there's naturally some sodium in the water. And I'm trying to find your second question here.
Is that, like those levels are okay for people that are diabetic or what have you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And once it happens in past years that if we do reach a certain amount, the City of Ottawa will notify us, and then we have some requirement to post it. We'll send it to the nursing homes and stuff like that to flag that we may have a high level, but we issue a warning when we come to that point.
And what was the
page 4, it was 1C AWLEDGE.
Are you in for page 4? Are you where in the water complaints records?
Yeah.
If you can see it on the big screen, Councillor Saucier, is this the page you're looking for?
Yeah, I thought so, but I don't see it there. I'll look. I'll talk to you about it later.
Okay. Anything to add from the administration, Mr. Bourdeau?
I just want to point out that's a report that presented annually to council. That's a requirement by the ministry. That council needs to be aware of the water and the sewer system by the end of March. So it's information, and that full report will also be posted on our website.
Perfect, thank you very much. You found it?
Yeah.
Councillor Saucier?
So it's down at June 14th, 966 Notre Dame. And under problem determined.
Sorry, the mic wasn't on.
No problem, answer, no,
Yeah.
ICA.
You highlight this like Monsieur Bourdeau.
Knowledge of system.
I think that we flagged a few typos since that report was updated to council, and I believe that could be one of them. That
Okay.
there's some info missing in the square.
Okay.
Well, nothing serious.
No.
Perfect. Okay, we'll move on to the next item. Item L, Snowmobile Crossing Information Report, Report PR 05-2019. The council receives report PR 05-2019 dated March 18, 2019, and approves the department's recommendation to submit a final report for the snowmobile crossing in the spring of 2019. Questions, comments, members of council? Nothing to add from the administration? Okay. Item M, Community Grants Report PR 07-2019. Council receives report PR 07-2019 dated March 18, 2019, and approves the following department's recommendations for community grants donations in 2019 to the following group. 1, to approve an in-kind grant in the amount of $309 to the Russell Ag Society for the rental of the Embrun Community Centre for their Monster Bingo on May 7, 2019. According to the community grants and contribution guidelines, the above request meets our requirements for funding. Questions, comments, members of council? Pretty standard practice. Anything to add, Madam Vital? No? Move on to the next item. N, renewal of the fire and protection agreement with the Nation Municipality, report EM 01-2019. Council receives report EM 01-2019 dated March 18, 2019, and approves the proposed bylaw to renew the agreement with the Nation Municipality for the provision of fire and protection services exclusively for Sector 14B, Lemieux area in Russell Township, and the council repeal the previous bylaw 2016-079. Questions, comments, members of council? Anything to add from the administration, chiefs? No, we're good? Pretty standard. Monsieur Leduc?
Madame Conseil, we've submitted to you this change in invoicing practices because we feel that we may be saving a few dollars here, and this is why when the chief presented me with the agreement, I agreed to it. And we did recommend to council to go ahead with this. So that's the perspective of it.
The administration. Thank you very much, Monsieur Leduc. Item O, final update on the 2018 business plan and presentation of 2019 business plan, report CAO 03-2019. The council receives report CAO 03-2019 dated March 18, 2019. Members of council, did we have any questions specifically? Councilor Associate.
You've been busy. But the first impression program, what was that? And I noticed it was canceled. And I was just curious.
Yep, the first impression program is a provincial program where you would have a subcommittee, let's say of 5 people here, going and visit another municipality, which is matched by the province to us. And so we would have gone over, have a first impression review of their installations, their roads, their how they greet people in their communities, their facilities and everything else. And in return, they would come over to our location and do the same. So midway through the year, the coordinator worked for the province and Alfred retired. So when I reached with him, when I spoke with him earlier in April, he told me was nobody at this point really picking up that file. That was one thing. The second thing, when I spoke to Mrs. Tremblay this year, is normally you would do that review prior to doing your streetscape reviews, your programs, how you would upgrade your official plan, how you would review all kinds of master plans. So because we've done all these work kind of ahead, the first impression program would just confirm some of the findings we have in our existing reports that we've got to council already, or we have on our files. So this is why I didn't feel it was really going to provide us with much more information. So therefore, and with limited resources, we decided to stop that now. So, and this council really wants to go ahead with this, but at this point, we felt that we're pretty well on top of our studies and would like to go ahead without doing that.
Merci. Other questions? Conseiller Brisson?
Je voyais juste comme pour le complexe, encore, c'était juste une clarification parce qu'il disait, le premier item, c'était de refresh site plan, mais je dis, ça sert à quoi de faire un refresh avant de savoir qu'est-ce qu'on bâtit dedans, parce qu'on sait qu'on a du terrain, on a pas mal de terrain. Puis juste savoir aussi, là, je sais que le comité a été mis en dormance, mais savoir aussi, est-ce que, je pense que ça disait dedans, pour la recherche comme pour chercher des entreprises là, pour faire l'étude, tout ça de nous présenter. Si c'est comme je pense que ça l'est dans le rapport, mais c'est pour ça moi je voyais plus faire l'étude, commencer, puis après, qu'est-ce qui nous amène en fait de grandeur de ces choses-là, qu'après tu fais le site plan. Puis savoir est-ce que c'est le comité qui va prendre la décision de...
La dernière, correct me if I'm wrong, Monsieur Leduc, essentially the direction of council on this item was that we would hire a firm to give us some possible scenarios as far as complexes go, 2 ice pads, 3 ice pads, a pool, community center, whatever all the other option is, and give us some costs associated with that, at which point in time then our administrative finance team would be able to come back and say, okay, well, based on all these items, this is how much it would cost, these are possible financing options, where does council want to go from that point forward? C'est pas mal ça, qu'est-ce que la direction qui était donnée, M. Leduc?
Oui, vous avez raison sur ça. But to the question of refreshing the site plan, the initial site plan had the dome positioned differently. And at that time also, we did not have the additional land we purchased from Mr. Lapin's property. Also, now there's a question of implementing Little League baseball fields. There's all kinds of new things. A pool was not there initially. So therefore, we'd like to position what's there on the field now and see how much space we have, because the land we purchased is still zoned as ag land. So we can't expect to be just expanding on that before we really need to go there, and because there's a process to follow if that was the case. So that's why we want to refresh the site plan and then go on with what you answered, Mr. Mayor, regarding the action plan and coming to council with the consulting firm, and also then deciding what are the options and then prepare a financial plan to council and a decision to say, let's move ahead with this or not, or with modifications or additions and whatever. So this is why we're doing the site plan first.
So the refresher of the site plan essentially will be given to the consultant that takes part of that into consideration when he's doing his job.
Yeah, you have an idea as to what we had before and where we want to go.
Ouais, c'est bien beau de dire on peut mettre 3 glaces, mais on sait pas. S'il n'y a pas de place pour, ben ça fait pas de sens, right? So at least with the site plan, it'll give them the context of where we're looking at putting that in place. Right? D'autres questions, commentaires?
Y avait-tu un time frame pour le consultant? Ou c'est là pour...
Monsieur Leduc?
Plutôt que plus tard?
Donc on fait référence à l'item 2019-121. Je ne sais pas si vous avez ça à l'ordre du jour.
On va zoomer un petit peu là-dessus. $21?
121.
There's a lot of items to check on the checklist. Et voilà. 2019.
Ça doit.
En juin.
2019, 121.
Ça dit en juin.
Donc, comme on l'indique au tableau, on prévoit travailler sur notre site plan, donner les contrats, de revoir ça à partir d'avril. On va revenir au conseil probablement en juin sur la consultation, quel genre de consultant on va recommander au conseil. Puis vous voyez le reste octobre pour l'échéancier du plan d'action, puis vous pouvez remettre ça, puis on peut faire un rapport au conseil en novembre. Donc, d'ici décembre, vous voyez les 4 actions qu'on compte faire sur le complexe récréatif.
Parfait. Merci beaucoup, M. Leduc. D'autres questions, commentaires? Non? Conseiller Brisson?
C'est un commentaire que j'ai vu aussi qu'il y avait de quoi pour regarder la possibilité de faire des jardins communautaires. Je crois que justement que c'est une excellente idée, que avec la densification de la population, tout ça, que ça a l'air de quoi assez populaire. Très bien, parce que c'est une bonne idée de regarder pour ça.
Oui, définitivement. Je pense que on a une population qui s'en vient plus âgée, que ils s'en aillent plus en condo, puis il manque l'aspect d'avoir a nice garden in their backyard. They don't have the space anymore, but they still have that opportunity to, if we can get a community garden going, you know, it could be used as a teaching tool as well to the younger generation on how to do some gardening, perhaps get them interested. So I'm glad that it's part of the project. Okay. D'autres questions, commentaires? Quelque chose d'autre à ajouter, M. Leduc?
Ben, Mr. Mayor, I was going to say, normally we would do this business plan once the strategic plan is in place. So a few items were carried over from last year, so you see the link there. But once we've established a new strategic plan, April or early May, then next year we'll have a more direct link to the strategic plan regarding this business plan annually. So, and there's a lot of items. I know department heads have started, but there's also lots of work to do again this year. Thank you.
Yes, most definitely. Thank you very much. Item 12, reports from investigator of the ombudsman. We have none. Ah oui, il y avait une coupe à ajouter. 11P, Monsieur Bourgon, verbal report on the infrastructure grant. Monsieur Leduc, Monsieur Bourgon.
Monsieur Mayor, so we're at this point, we want to inform council on a few updates that we have for grants. Last fall, we applied for the OCIF top-up for the Small Wade Bridge, as we talked about in the budget session as well. So basically, the province canceled that program, so we won't be receiving, or we're not expecting any money coming from that specific program. They also confirmed that the OCIF formula base is confirmed, and the amount that's going to be allowed to us, that's the same as presented at budget session. But they also informed us of a new program that starting actually today. It's the Investing in Canada Infrastructure program. So that program is it's now available for application for the next 8 weeks, so until May 14, and it's focusing on roads and bridges. So administration, we want to take the time to review the guidelines of this program and come back to council with a recommendation of which project we believe would qualify and have our best chance of succeeding with the different criteria that they're imposing on us.
Parfait, merci beaucoup, Monsieur Bourgon. I think that's an important step. You know, historically, we've been applying for different projects. We haven't been receiving the funding we're looking for. In this document, they're specifying what the criteria are. So maybe by analyzing that closely, we can say, okay, well, this project is, you know, we might prefer project A to get the money for, but project B has a better chance with the criteria established. So that'll be a discussion for further down the road.
So exactly. So we'll come back in front of council in April to get a direction on which one to apply, to have a quick turnaround, and to be able to meet the May deadline. And they're basically the timelines will be to have an answer by the end of the summer.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Mr. Bourgon. And then we had item 11Q, amend the user fee bylaw. Madame Joanne Camille Piché.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I know you just received this one, it wasn't in the package, and I apologize for this, but we just noticed that the 250 fee that was adopted by council at the last meeting on March 4th with respect to the complaint to the ombudsman.
Integrity Commissioner?
Yes, Integrity Commissioner, sorry. We didn't include it in the user fee bylaw, so that's why I brought it to council tonight. If council just wants to add it to the user fee bylaw, so it's in if we receive it, and if or when we receive a complaint.
Yeah, thank you very much, Madame Camille Lafemme. So council had this discussion, we approved it when we approved the Integrity Commissioner, we just missed adding it to the user fees at that point in time,
Yes.
so it's just.
And just for council's info, at the end of the recommendation, so we don't have two amendments tonight on the user fee bylaw, since finance was already bringing one. I merged them together in one bylaw, so we could replace the bylaw that you already received with the one I just gave you, which will deal with the Schedule A9 and the Schedule A1 in the same bylaw.
Perfect. Questions, comments, members of council? No? Vote on 5. Merci, Madame Camille Lafemme.
Thank you.
So at this point, we'll move on to item 12. We have none. Item 13, notice of motions. We have none. Item 14, question period on meeting of the day. I'll ask anyone with questions to please come up to the lectern and state your name and address for the record, please. Seeing none, I'll move on to item 15, resolutions. Motion that council approve all recommended listed on the agenda under item number 11, reports from departments and council committees. So we'll put on the table first. I need a mover and seconder. Moved by Conseiller Brisson, seconded by Councillor Saucier. Need an amendment, Monsieur Brisson? Conseiller Brisson?
We're asking that item A be removed.
Item 11A
Yeah.
be removed. So proposed by Councillor Brisson, seconded by Councillor Saucier. All those in favor of removing 11A? Okay, we're good. So we'll vote on everything else except 11A. So we have a mover and a seconder. All those in favor? All those opposed? Carried. So now we will go back to item 11A, which was the zoning bylaw and official plan amendment report PD 14/2019. The council receives report PD 14/2019 dated March 18, 2019, and concurs with the planning committee and the planning advisory committee recommendation to refuse the official plan amendment application submitted by Benoit Default and Carl Lavoie, authorized agents for EMB Developments, Inc., to 1, amend the designation of the property from commercial to residential, and 2, to the zoning amendment from local commercial special exemption CL4 to residential 2R2. Need a mover and a seconder to put on the table. Moved by Conseiller Brisson, seconded by Councillor Saucier. Put it on table. Questions, comments, amendments? Now's the time. Conseiller Brisson?
So what's the best if, is it
To amend it?
Is it to amend it, or if just to know if we vote against it, will it mean that we accept
No.
that it changed?
So if we were to vote against this, the way it's worded, if we vote against it, it's not approving it. It's just
Okay.
voting it down completely. And I guess it's almost like in limbo, there's no direction on it. So it would be an amendment. The council receives a report dated March and does not concur with the planning department and planning advisory committee recommendation to refuse the official plan amendment submitted by Benoit authorized agent, and approves.
Mr. Mayor, there would be 3 things to my view if you wanna change the resolution.
Okay,
So that would be the part, like you said, concurs with, so you could put rejects.
rejects.
And the third line, to refuse, would be and approves.
To refuse and approve.
And if you wanna go ahead and have the bylaws, I think, they can be prepared and we could add a line that the 2 bylaws be adopted. So that would be added to the bylaws section as well,
Need to,
if they're ready tonight. If not, it would be at another meeting.
okay. Madame Tremblay, t'as besoin de combien de temps pour préparer les bylaws? C'est fait. And the 2 bylaws be approved. So, would you be okay with that, Councillor Brisson? So, you're okay, you move that the 3 suggestions as worded by Madame Camille Laflamme?
Yeah.
Okay, moved by Conseiller Brisson.
So now you got me confused.
Essentially, we're saying yes.
We're supporting Madame Tremblay's.
No, we're going
Okay,
against the planning
well, I'm
department.
supporting Madame Tremblay's
Okay,
recommendation.
so the recommendation, the amendment is moved by Conseiller Brisson, seconded by myself. So now we'll vote on the actual amendment. So all those in favor of the amendment? All those opposed? So the amendment is carried. Now we'll vote on the bylaw as amended, or on the resolution as amended. All those in favor? All those opposed? Resolution is
Recorded
carried.
vote, please.
Recorded vote?
Yes,
Yeah. So, all those in favor? And all those opposed? Okay. So, ils sont déjà prêtes? Si on peut les inclure tout de suite? Good. So, bylaws. Motion that council approves bylaws 2019-042 to 2019-049 exclusively for first, second, and third reading as listed on the agenda. 2019-42 being a bylaw for the removal of part lot control, 2019-43 another part lot control, 44 the other part lot control, 45 for the purpose of dedicating lands as public highways, 46 bylaw regarding the waterworks rate for the capital cost in the village of Lemieux as supplied by Nation Municipality, 47 being a bylaw regarding the sewer rate for the capital cost in the village of Lemieux as supplied by Nation Municipality. 48 being a bylaw to amend Schedule A9 for parks and rec fees and user fees. And 2049 being a bylaw to authorize the renewal of the fire protection agreement with Nation Municipality for the residents of Russell and Limoges. Puis les deux autres, ça va être séparé, c'est ça, Madame Camille Laflamme? So I need a mover and a seconder for these. Moved by Councillor Associé, seconded by Conseiller Buisson. All those in favor? All those opposed? Carried. So now, Madame Camille Laflamme, I'll ask you to read those two that we have ready. Or the two we have ready.
So that would be the same as the bottom of the resolution. So the first one would be bylaw 2019-050.
050.
And it would be to amend the designation of the property from commercial to residential.
Okay.
And the second one, bylaw 2019-051, would be to the zoning amendment from local commercial special exception 4 to residential 2.
Residential or 2.
Yes.
Okay. Moved by Conseiller Buisson, seconded by myself. All those in favor? All those opposed? Carried. Ça, c'est tout pour les bylaws, Madame Camille Laflamme?
Yes, because the bylaw 048 was substituted with the
With-
new one.
Yes, for the both user fees.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next changes. Item 17, we have, we switch numbers, we don't have anything for 17. Item 18, first one, welcome to Russell Signs, that's my discussion. I presented members of council, members of the King Club came to see me last Friday afternoon, I believe. They were looking to, if you remember well, they came to council asking support from us because they wanted to make an exact replica of the existing Embrun signs in the village of Russell. They have come up with something very similar, which is they're looking at doing the same sizes, everything, except they're looking in behind Russell to have like either a watermark or some kind of pictures added to it. I think it's a nice addition, but they just wanted to make sure council seemed okay with that. As to, in regards to what they're proposing, they're actually going to be going out and doing a survey with the residents of Russell to see what they would like to see in the picture itself. So they're just looking, they just wanted to inform council, see if we're okay with that. In regards to the rocks that are being proposed underneath, like here, they're looking at possibly doing something with Russell brick instead, to save costs. Obviously, anything, the final approval will come back to council, but they just want to make sure that at this point in time, we seemed okay with the direction they seem to be going. Councillor Associate?
Yeah, so their idea here is to incorporate the train, the river, and farming.
Yeah, like I said, they're actually going to, there's going to be a survey done, you know, for the Castor River, it could be the dam, you know, they want to incorporate the people, or, so they're looking at feedback from the public. Once they have that feedback, then they'll put something together and go from there.
And I do like the idea of incorporating the Russell brick underneath. I think that'd be kind of neat. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Conseiller Bisson?
Je veux savoir aussi, je sais que c'est assez grosse pancarte, si c'est comme le sel en brun, savoir s'il y a eu un emplacement décidé ou si ça s'est trouvé encore, c'est qu'avant de savoir la grosseur.
Oui, d'après que j'ai compris, ils ont deux spots pas mal confirmés. The legal aspect of it hasn't been signed yet, but they have confirmed 2 areas, and that'll be part of the process. They'll work with the administration to work that out. But yeah, they're looking essentially at exactly the same sizes. But
Just making sure that they have the place before.
Yeah, most definitely, most definitely. Quelque chose à ajouter, M. Leduc?
Oui, pour les membres du conseil, c'est Mme Bourdeau qui est l'agent de liaison pour nous autres, l'administration à ce projet-là. And also remind that the counties, it's their roads, so we have to be concerned with their approval also. So probably one thing to keep in mind when we proceed further.
Yeah, if it falls on a road allowance of the counties, there'll be some discussions there as well, most definitely. Okay, parfait, merci beaucoup. And then we had under item 18B, Councillor Associated March It Out event.
Merci. Yeah, I just wanted to inform everybody that there's a great recycling event happening this Saturday, March 23rd, March It On Out, hosted by the Russell Horticultural Society. You can drop items off Friday night, the 22nd, between 5 and 8. And then on Saturday, it opens at 8 a.m. It's $10 at the door, and you can leave with anything you want. So bring a truck and back it up to the door. And I believe they didn't put on the poster, but it usually, I think it's all done by about noon. And they're pretty well cleared out, and then they donate whatever's left over. A charity comes forward and takes the rest away. So it's diverting everything from landfill. So it's a really good idea, and it's an annual event.
Perfect, thank you very much. So essentially on Friday night, you have stuff at home that you really don't want, that you think somebody else might use, drop it off, and then everybody walks in Saturday, pays $10, and you can, whatever you want to take, you just take. So it's pretty good cause. Pretty good event. Okay. And item 18C, Councillor Associate for Earth Hour.
Yeah, I'm just reminding everyone that March 30th is Earth Hour at 8:30 p.m. So I'm hoping as a township that we participate and maybe not be lit up like a Christmas tree during that hour. It's an international event, and so if we could honor that, that would be great.
Thank you very much, Councillor Associate. Item 19, public consultations and hearings, we have none. Item 20, pursuant to section 239, 2, 3, and 3.1 of the Municipal Act 2001, chapter 25, motion to move into closed meeting at the hour of 7:04 p.m. to address matters pertaining to section 239 of the Municipal Act 2001, SO 2001, chapter 25, matters relating to 1, disposition of land, transfer or former well in Russell under section 2C, a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition land by the municipality or local board. Item 2, disposition of land / transfer of former well in Russell under section 2C, proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality or local board. And item 3, under section 2C, a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by municipality or local board for property inside Russell. Need a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Saucier, seconded by Conseiller Brisson. All those in favor? All those opposed? Carried. We are now in closed session. Be back in 5 minutes, guys.